this podcast has a ton of opinions, so if you don't want opinions and just the news, you've come to the wrong place.
And there go all of our listeners.
You're listening to the FACET News Podcast, Episode 1. Today we're talking the current state of tech, so let's get started. Hey everybody, David here.
And I'm Alan. This is our first episode, so we hope you enjoy. The FACET News Podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment. Show notes can be found at our website, facet-news.com/podcast. Please come back often, and feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel where our podcast is hosted.
You can follow us on Twitter at facet_news, and I'm David at David_facet.
And I'm at Alan_facet.
Now let's get into the show. So, Alan, this is our first podcast.
Yeah, feeling pretty excited, ready to cover some interesting topics.
I think it's pretty scary, right? Because, it's just an hour and a half of us having a conversation, which we have pretty often. Let's be honest. We have just these conversations very often, usually while playing, stupid games like Euro Truck Simulator 2.
Great game, by the way.
It is a great game. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But now there are people that are actually going to be listening to our conversation. And I think it's quite a lot of pressure, because if you say, the wrong thing, there's no going back, right?
Yeah,
it's a podcast. It's unedited.
Yeah, obviously. And also we have quite a bit of slightly offensive humor in our private conversations.
Yeah,
so
we have to limit that.
Yeah, that's one.
So when I was thinking about, for our first podcast ideas about what we're supposed to talk about, I just thought, let's just sort of, we're in the middle of 2016, closer to the end of 2016, but somewhere around the middle. So up until now, how can you define 2016 in tech? If there's one outstanding point in 2016 in tech.
I feel like there was a lot of improvement with drones and consumer VR, especially with things like Gear VR from Samsung,
and
the HTC Vive, really opening up the market. We've talked about this before, and we've kind of predicted that VR won't really boom out into the consumer market as big as, let's say, something like a huge product that redefined how we use something. For example, touchscreen completely redefined a certain market.
Yeah, obviously.
And we don't think that VR is going to completely change something like media and gaming, the things that it's aimed for.
Yeah. I still believe that VR it's a niche market.
It is.
It might be
a very niche market.
It might be a thing for maybe a year, but that's what people said about touchscreens. Touchscreens, it's a niche. People always use that keyboard.
That's true. That's true.
That's actually the primary market of BlackBerry. The people that like a keyboard.
Yeah.
And even BlackBerry is steering away from that. They're moving to touchscreen.
Yeah, with the Priv.
Yeah, it's very possible that VR might become huge someday, but this year is not the year.
No, it's not. Although this year was a very big leap ahead.
It's a big year for VR, but VR is not dominating a certain market at all.
No, for sure it's not. Now the second thing that I mentioned was drones.
Yeah, drones. A lot of drones, and they're becoming super cheap now.
They are. There's some for $50 to $100 range, and they give you something decent. Obviously not something as good as
DJI Phantom.
Yeah, DJI Phantom drones.
But it's the thing with drones is that it might be a very good tool for cinematographers and people that are making these huge blockbuster movies. But let's be honest, if you're filming a huge blockbuster movie, you're not getting a $5,000 DJI Phantom 4. No, you're getting helicopters and these arms, and you're not getting a drone because they're too difficult to control.
They are.
But you can't also get them if you're just a beginner, because they're quite expensive. It's a huge investment, and if you spend $100 on a drone, it's not very good, because the camera quality will suffer. But if you shell out $4,000 for, you know, a small movie that like might not get much viewership, then it's not, you know, it's not worth it.
No,
So
it's not. And there's
no in between for drones.
No, there really isn't. There's a very like small amount of people that drones really work for. It's these amateur cinematographers that have enough of an earning so they can put in that kind of money into that kind of tool. It does obviously enhance the quality of their movies, but it won't.
Because it gives, you know, like, perspective.
Yeah, obviously
like,
it does.
I'm a very big fan of Casey Neistat, and he's already a fantastic cinematographer, but drones are, like, as he says, just another tool for an entirely separate tool. Like, there's a camera and then there's a drone. And it tells a fantastic story. And I wouldn't call Casey Neistat, you know, an amateur cinematographer.
No,
he's done movies and commercials. And
yeah, for so many different
super
things
successful
and people.
Guy.
Yeah,
Super successful guy. But, like, when you, but it kind of just appeals to Casey Neistat. He's not a filmmaker. He's not, you know, Steven Spielberg or something. Even though some people call him the Steven Spielberg of YouTube or something. Like that. But it's like the small filmmaker, not the Steven Spielberg, but more like the Casey Neistat. But there are very few, you know, Casey Neistat people of us. There's a very small amount of people that can afford something, but are also something like a drone, but are also not at the level of somebody like Steven Spielberg, like that huge like Hollywood fame, like millions of dollars budget level. So this was a big year for drones, but it was also a very, very like bad year for drones because you have a bunch of laws being put in place that you can't fly drones in certain places. True. In New York City, for example, it's illegal to fly drones, even though, you know, Casey Neistat might fly a bit, but it's actually illegal, and it's probably not going to be the end of drones, but like you might be able to get certain permits to film,
for
kind
sure.
of like for big, you know, blockbuster productions, you can like close down a road, and that requires a permit. Probably same thing with drones. So yeah, it's a very weird year for drones, but you know, a lot of progress has been made.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's something, you know, like phones this year.
Yeah.
The Note 7 has just been released. It's $1,049.
That's true.
Why is
it the price?
$1,000?
It was
like
very high price tag. The most expensive on-release Note, I think, or general smartphone in the last 5 years, I'd say.
Well, there have been, you know, those like really stupid, you know, Lamborghini
obviously,
smartphones. That's very, you know, like that doesn't count.
But I'm
like,
saying mainstream brands,
like standard release and stuff like that. So it's very weird. Like phones are getting more expensive. They're also sort of, you know, well, at the same time, all phones are sort of getting cheaper. There's this sort of trend to, like, going back to 2012, which was a good year for phones. That was a really good year for phones.
Definitely.
And it's sort of just going back to that trend, 2012, like those 4 or 5 inch phones that cost, you know, $400, $600 in that price range. And I think that's very good because for somebody like me who doesn't have, you know, a sustainable income, I like being able to get a phone. For example, the Nexus 5X right now, you can get it on Amazon for $200-ish, $220. US, obviously. In Canada, I think it's $300. But $200 for a Nexus 5X. It wasn't a flagship, but it was a secondary. It was kind of, you know, the secondary phone. And in case you're wondering why we're laughing, it's really windy and there's this curtain.
We currently have the window open. And,
we have a window open because
right by our set we have these
like,
pretty big curtains and they're kind of blowing.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, genuinely is.
But okay, moving on.
Yeah.
So yeah, phones, they're either kind of pretty cheap
or very expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there are, like, there's, like, the iPhone 6S and something like that. And, we haven't seen the release of the iPhone 7 yet, but we can see it, I think it's in the next week or so.
Yeah, about next week they're probably going to be...
Yeah, iPhone 7, and then...
A lot of news.
Yeah, with the iPhone 7, they're removing the audio jack, apparently. Yeah. That was actually our first article on FACET News. It was.
That was first article on...
they're removing the headphone jack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think about that?
Well, now, after nearly a year has passed since that article, I feel like right now everybody in the tech community itself have relaxed over it because so many people are adopting the
lightning-based headphones.
Yeah, the lightning-based headphones or Bluetooth headphones, which I feel like are the more practical option right now.
I don't think so. I still like auxiliary headphones.
So do I, for sure. I do still definitely prefer the auxiliary headphones, but I feel like for most people, right now, I think that more people are going to be leaning towards the Bluetooth
option. Yeah, but still, like, there's the debate analog versus digital, where you have analog, auxiliary connectors, and then you have the digital lightning connector. But then there's also, like, wireless. Like, wireless audio. What if you're listening to something, like, super, technical, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously you wouldn't be listening to something super technical on an iPhone 7. We'd be listening to something, a high-powered computer with a sound card and everything.
Yeah.
But it removes that option, though, completely. And I feel I feel like it's a bad move. Like,
for sure. For sure, bad move.
Also, why would you remove the audio port? Like, it's not...
Yeah.
Like, if you're making the phone, like, 0.5 millimeter thinner, like, why would you? I'd rather have an auxiliary port and a bigger battery rather than... A
thinner phone, no auxiliary port, smaller battery.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, a thicker phone, I'm not talking about, a centimeter thick. Actually, a centimeter thick would be, it's okay, fine, sure.
I'd be fine with a phone, which is a centimeter thick.
Yeah. But given that, it has to have, a decent battery, because if a phone can't get through, a day where you can't charge it, and you're actively using it, like, well, not actively, but, average use.
Yeah, for 3 to 4 hours of screen on time.
Yeah, then that's a problem. That's a very big problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, Bluetooth headphones, something that I've noticed, something pretty obvious, uses more battery than...
Is that right?
Uses more battery. The Bluetooth...
I'm not 100% sure. Oh, well, yeah, the Bluetooth...
The Bluetooth feature. Receptor, the feature uses more battery than...
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so...
So you have to have these trade-offs, right?
Even if you do, if you have a smaller battery...
A bigger battery, you mean?
Well, I'm saying if they're removing the audio jack.
Oh,
that means thinner phone.
Oh, yeah.
Smaller battery.
It's
probably.
Well, maybe. Nobody's 100% on the details.
Or maybe they might
just
change, just put more battery in that spot where the audio jack would have been. But if that's not the case, then you have a smaller battery, and if you're using Bluetooth headphones, that's taking up more battery than it would have on previous iPhone generation models. So...
You're
kind of a trade-off.
Yeah, it's
both places.
It's not really a trade-off. It's just everybody
and the
loses.
worst.
It's just everybody loses.
Exactly, and the worst audio quality with Bluetooth.
But that's worst case scenario though. That's more like
of course.
Because I would assume that they're just going to make a bigger battery.
Yeah.
But I hope they're making a bigger battery because
of course.
Something like a Moto Droid.
Yeah.
It's quite thick. Well, not quite thick, but it's thicker compared to, mainstream phones. Yeah. But it's a good phone. And personally, I like,
Sure.
I like a phone that I can, feel in my hand, that, feels premium. Yeah. Like a phone that feels, totally premium, like metal.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Or, some sort of weight to it. Because, if it's just, a plastic phone with no weight. Like, what's inside there? Like
something like the iPhone SE, which was just released.
SE.
Personally, when I held it, I was.
It's like an iPhone 5.
Exactly. It's
the iPhone 5 it's one of my favorite phones because it's rectangular, like, so you can feel it in your hand. It's quite good. It feels quite good. Mm-hmm. But then you take something like the iPhone 6, right?
Yeah.
With that sort of design, like the 5th generation iPod Touch.
Yeah.
I had the 5th generation iPod Touch. I didn't even bother with the 6th generation because I knew that was, dead.
Yeah.
But the 5th generation iPod Touch, I didn't, like, it constantly kept slipping out of my hands and,
True.
it just didn't feel good. It felt, it felt cheap.
Yeah.
So why they moved that design along to their most popular product, the iPhone, I don't understand. And
that's true. And even in the iPhone SE, the build quality of the iPhone 5 and 5S, it was actually pretty good. It was
the iPhone 5S. I think it's my favorite iPhone.
Favorite iPhone, true. Mm-hmm. It felt really nice in the hand. But now with the iPhone SE, they put in the same shape. I'm pretty sure it's also the same design and everything. Yeah. But the materials are different.
The materials are different.
Yeah, the materials are made out of plastic.
Are they?
It's plastic.
I've never actually personally touched an iPhone SE. Like, I don't go to the Apple Store very often, so I don't get to feel,
But I felt it, and it feels plastic.
It feels plastic. So.
And for a plastic phone, it feels better than most. But it's still a plastic phone. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't... It feels worse than...
Like, I'm just going to search that up.
The previous iPhone 5.
What the iPhone SE is made out of.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be very weird of Apple to, use something like a certain, that sort of thing, plastic. Because, like, the Apple is known for, like aluminum.
Aluminum, polished metal.
Aluminium.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. I said, it doesn't really say anything about its material, which is weird.
Yeah. And previously on the topic of the Note 7.
Note 7, yeah. What about it?
The Note 7, the iris scanner that they added. Very new. Very new technology in a mobile device. I think we've seen it before in...
No, we've never actually seen it before.
We've never seen it before at all.
But I think it's just a gimmick, right?
Yeah,
because
me too.
Like the Galaxy S4 had, facial recognition.
Yeah.
But that took really, really long. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about, like, how long it takes for the iris, I don't know how long it takes for the iris scanner to, recognize you.
Yeah.
Because if it's short, then, sure. But, like, if you constantly need to, like, readjust your face and stuff, that's not really good. Because, like, I'd rather have a fingerprint that I can just put my finger on. I know there are... You just put your finger...
phones out there, which do this very well.
Yeah, the Nexus 5X, for example. Yeah. Extremely fast. And it's on the back, so as soon as I pick up my phone, my finger just naturally goes onto the fingerprint sensor, and before I could even flip my phone over, it's already unlocked.
Yeah.
And I find that fantastic. So I'm not sure, like, we can talk about the placement of, fingerprint scanners all day long.
That's true.
But, like, fingerprint scanners, they work, and, like, I like them. And they're quick, too. The technology is getting, fast.
For multiple generations, for multiple years, we've been using fingerprint sensors, and they've advanced a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. So an iris scanner, if it becomes faster and it can recognize at different angles and stuff like that, true. Then, sure, have at it. I think it'll be even more secure than
fingerprint, obviously, because there are methods using, I think it was clay.
I'm not sure, but yeah, it's something like that. You can fake it.
Yeah, but iris scanner,
it's difficult to fake.
Extremely difficult. It would take weeks of just rebuilding someone's...
I'm not sure. Maybe you can take, like, maybe it's possible you can take a picture of somebody's eyes.
And like I don't. No, because the definition doesn't stay the same. You can't zoom in, or can't like showing a picture of somebody's eyes, maybe.
Yeah,
to
like,
the scanner.
Yeah, like is the iris scanner like? Does it use like
how advanced? How far does it zoom in into the eyes to scan?
I don't think it matters how far you zoom in. I think it matters, like
how precise the recognition is.
I don't
up to what detail it takes.
Maybe it's like it measures some like the blood flow or something.
Maybe.
I'm not sure though, but I'll have to look into that. But yeah, that's it's scary because like
definitely
you're never 100% secure.
Yeah.
At all. So making these new methods and stuff like that. I don't know how far you can get because like fingerprint scanners that was a wild idea.
That was a wild idea.
And now they want to make
iris scanners. And I remember when there were rumors for the LG G5 to have an iris scanner.
I don't remember
a while ago.
I don't remember that. But like after the iris scanner, where do you go? Like what can you use to
something?
Because fingerprint, that's personal.
It's quite far.
Iris, that's also personal.
Might be strange, but bodily fluids.
You see, every time I want to unlock my phone, I don't want to like prick myself or
yeah,
other
exactly.
options.
That's what I'm saying. But like, how that's just an extreme.
That's an extreme way, but like
obviously, like having like a little like pin built into the home
button. I mean, it's a phone. It's not Area 51. Like,
obviously, but like having like a little pin, the cap that you can open. And then you open the cap to unlock your phone. You put some pressure. And then there's like a little sensor, tests the blood, you close the cap, and then it's a normal button again. It's a wild idea. It's extreme. It's very dangerous.
And also, probably, you can sue
a
lot of people.
Exactly.
But, I don't think so. Maybe that can be, like, some sort of method for preventing, like, massive, purchases. Like, for example, if you're purchasing something using Android Pay or something like that, or Apple Pay.
And it's, like, a huge sum of money.
It's, like, multiple thousands of dollars. Then maybe, but,
But that would be
it's gonna be weird.
Very strange.
A lot of controversy. I don't think it's gonna happen, though.
No. I'm 99% sure that it won't happen.
That's what they said about
but who knows?
sensors.
Yeah. Exactly.
60s.
Exactly. So, like...
It's quite scary.
It is quite scary. How far... to what measures are we going to protect our
identity,
our
credit cards,
our
I think it's only up to the human imagination. Like,
that's true. Up to what you can... I mean, we, sitting here, like... Just doing a podcast, just thought of, like...
bodily fluids.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
It's like...
And then, if that actually becomes a thing, I would think, like, Samsung would do something, like, pretty interesting. Like, they would say, oh, by the way, you have Zika, or something.
Oh, by the way,
like,
just to tell you.
You got into your phone, congratulations, but you have Zika now.
Mm-hmm.
So, right.
And then, like, touching, like, if you want to use someone else's phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's weird.
And, like, having multiple... And how would you, like, sterilize it? Because what if, like, the needle gets dirty or something?
See,
and...
That's just an ethical... it's not an ethical issue, it's just a medical issue.
Yeah, it's true.
That I personally don't want to talk about, just because it's weird.
Yeah, me neither, but...
it's tech,
It is. It's genuine technology. Like, how would they sterilize it?
Yesterday, I had a conversation with my friend. Mm-hmm. Like, what's defined as tech? Now, this guy, he's a sporty guy. Okay?
What?
He's a super sporty guy.
Okay.
And then, like, he really wanted to write on FACET News. And I said, yeah, but what do you know about tech? This is a tech site.
Uh-huh.
And he said, oh, but there's, like, tech in sports and stuff. And I said, like, what? And he said, carbon fiber shoes. And I said, yeah, that's tech, but that's the wrong type of tech that we cover. Like some people misinterpret it. Like, I understand how you can think, like, technology is, engineering and science and
Obviously,
stuff like that. It's a very interesting
field.
Stuff. It's interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But the technology that we define is, electronics and stuff like that. And, electronics, they're... Like, where do you stop,
With...
What ends...
Yeah.
Like, so you have a range of, scientific technology, but then you also have the range of, electronic technology.
Yeah.
Like, what stops that? Like,
where's the barrier? Where's the
barrier?
line that separates them?
Like, is the barrier going to be, bodily fluid scanners and stuff?
Would it be very extreme possibility, but I think that right now, what we have right now, it's things like Fitbits. People are going to make, like, smart sports bras and, like, t-shirts and shoes. Like, it's getting
technology is going everywhere.
Yeah, it is. And, talking about that, like, mixing, like, people's physical activity and putting technology into that also opens up the conversation of, like, biotech. And, like, sensors into, like, skin and stuff. Yeah. And replaceable organs with 3D printing.
I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. 2016 is definitely not a good year for that.
For sure, no.
I mean, there's that... I forget what that technology is called. Where people are... It's a new way, a new synthetic way of curing many, many diseases.
Yeah.
CRISPR. That's what it's called, CRISPR. It's very interesting. But 2016 is not the year of CRISPR.
Yeah.
Right? It's 2016 is more the year of like actual technology, like electronic bras and Fitbits.
Yeah.
No, 2016. Like 2016 is a very weird year. At the same time,
it is a strange year.
Like there's
nothing really like new happened. Like nothing's super groundbreaking or like.
Like, we made a ton of progress, like, in the small stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But in general, we didn't really move anywhere.
No, exactly. It's more like we improved on things that we found, things that we made...
In 2015,
in 2015, in 2014, previous years.
2015 is the year of VR. Like, I think that...
2015?
Yeah, I think
for sure.
I think that goes without saying.
Yeah. And then this year, we kind of just improved on it, and improved on it enough...
It's kind of like we took a pause from innovating and just, let's just...
improve on the things that we've made in previous years. For example, Fitbits and the whole...
Wasn't that in 2015 or is that 2016?
No.
Sure. Or was that even, earlier than that?
I think it might have been earlier. But, like, now we have electronic sports bras. Like
I think again that's a niche. Like,
obviously, like there's gonna be such a small, consumer base.
We're not making electronic sports bras. That's not. We're not gonna review that on our site.
Obviously not.
Mostly because it's stupid.
Yeah.
And then also because we don't have any female writers.
That's true. We don't have any female staff in the company, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've gone a little off topic. We're discussing female sports bras.
Me too. What else happened this year
in tech?
In tech.
Well...
What happened in the PC industry?
The new Titan XP.
Yeah.
That was a thing. It wasn't particularly exciting, but
it's true.
It exists. The NVIDIA 10 series.
With the new Pascal architecture.
That's interesting. But it's nothing, groundbreaking.
Yeah. Okay. We've seen improvements of this scale
before. We've seen, it's just a new generation. Sure, whatever. What else? Intel is going to stop making desktop CPUs.
Yeah, that's true.
Does that open up the market for AMD?
Does that open up?
I don't think so.
Me neither.
Because AMD is just like they made their new they have this new architecture that can, like a mid-range architecture that can go against, the Intel high-end architecture. Apparently, that's what we saw. But is that actually true? Like, is that actually
Will it open up for AMD? No, but I do think that it will give AMD a better chance to fit some stuff into that mid-range to high-range class of CPUs.
Because right now AMD is just, the low range.
Yeah, the lower range.
The budget build. And even there, Intel is kind of
beating with, Pentiums and, the lower class i3s.
Intel is just kind of has a monopoly on the market. So AMD might sort of just get a bit of that.
Yeah, just snatch a little bit away, but definitely not take over. No, for sure not.
Because, Intel is moving on. So you know how, IBM just doesn't really do anything, in particular, but, supercomputers?
Yeah.
They used to build, desktop computers.
Yeah.
They used to make, these circuit boards and stuff. Now they don't do that. Now they're building, supercomputers.
Yeah.
So is that, the path that Intel is taking? Because I heard them, I heard someone say, they're moving on to the mobile market.
I was actually about to mention that as well. But I feel like Intel is going to do is just...
It's just giving another option to Android.
Pretty much. Snapdragon right now.
That's...
pretty much.
That's what company? That's, what company makes that? I forget what that is. But...
The Snapdragon. Qualcomm. Yeah. Qualcomm's Snapdragons. So right now, they're pretty much just pretty much every big Android phone right now has a Qualcomm chip.
Even some small ones, the cheaper Qualcomm.
Even small ones. Yeah. But the other company right now, which in the Eastern markets is doing quite well, is MediaTek, actually.
MediaTek?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it.
A lot of the cheaper phones, we were talking earlier about budget phones, a lot of the cheaper phones...
Chinese phones,
Yeah, exactly. A lot of those phones have MediaTek processors in them, and from what I've heard, they're not as good as the
Qualcomm.
Yeah, the Qualcomm chips, but they're still somewhat...
But it gives a cheap... It's like the Intel and AMD thing.
Yeah, exactly. And also, what I think Intel might do is... Now, currently, I think that it would be safe to categorize CPUs in general into 3 different categories. There's mobile, there's desktop, and then there's things like just those crazy Xeon chips and stuff.
The server.
Yeah, server and supercomputer level stuff. Well, supercomputer is different.
No,
because
I think it's just it's because in general it's just 2 types of architectures. There's a mobile architecture and there's a desktop architecture. The servers, they use a desktop architecture.
Yeah, they use...
But they're...
bigger motherboards and stuff.
Well, bigger motherboards, yeah, and also, the CPUs, they're designed in a way that, servers can really utilize that power.
Yeah.
Instead of desktops that use, for a server, more cores is more important, and then, it's really just...
And for, a desktop, it's usually just less cores, but more powerful cores.
Yeah.
Because how many people have a octa-core or a hexa-core CPU in a desktop?
Well, there's a AMD FX 6300.
Yeah.
That's 8 cores? No, I think it's 8 cores. I'm not 100% on that. But it's not really good gaming performance.
No,
it's just okay.
And general high performance for things like video editing and gaming, things like that.
Yeah. But something like Xeon, that's better for processing and stuff. In general, it's just
just more cores.
Yeah.
And pretty much just really powerful cores.
Mm-hmm. Right. So,
what do you think of quantum computing?
Quantum.
Do you think that it will ever break out into the mainstream market?
Of course, yeah, because
for sure.
current CPUs, they use silicon.
Yeah.
And certain n nanometer processes. So like you hear like about these CPUs, they use like 13 nanometer processes and like 15 nanometers. And like that nanometer process, that's like the distance between like silicon. Like, I'm not 100% on like how CPUs work, but like silicon can only get so small. You can only get so precise that like there's a limit to how it goes. So quantum computing will essentially just improve on that exponentially.
Yeah, and then also quantum computing, won't it just add stuff to the binary?
Yeah, because
it changes the architecture completely.
Because binary can be either 1 or 0.
1 or 0.
But
now it's going to be 1, 0, and 2.
I don't think it's just 0, 1, and 2. I think it's going to be also because quantum computing means like they can be two things at once.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, that's just doubling the power of a regular CPU. Like, I'm not 100% on
so
this.
So, like, in the same space, twice as much power.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the point of quantum computing.
Like, I'm not 100% on that. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's going to be... it's going to get into the mainstream market, like, at one point or another, because, like, what other option do we have? We can't just, like, stay at one point in computing. So,
But for me, the big question is when? How long do you think it will take for quantum computing to get into the mainstream market? How much research do you think is left?
I think the research is well underway.
Yeah, for sure.
It's there.
But how much longer?
How much longer? Well, if the discussion is already there,
the discussion has been there for years
and it's really kicking off now. Like, quantum computing is going to happen like soon.
Yeah.
So I want to assume in like maybe 2020.
Yeah, that's what I've been predicting too.
Like, we'll probably see quantum computing, but like, again, not 100% on that. Like, I have no sources. That's just a guess.
Yeah, obviously. Because there's so little news in general about quantum computing.
Yeah, because like nobody really wants like the market for people that genuinely care about CPUs is tiny. It's minuscule.
It is quite minuscule.
Yeah, like even people that build their own computers, they don't like they care more about the graphics cards. CPUs like and the architecture behind CPUs. That's just super nerd stuff. Like nobody really cares about that kind of stuff. But once you really dive down into the conversation, I think it can become a very, very interesting conversation. Once you really dive down into it and deep into it.
Because with quantum computing, like possibilities for how much power do we even need? Well, that's also something to ask.
Well, in Windows 95, that was a tiny for example, Super Mario Brothers, that was a 7 kilobyte installation. Yeah. Right, that was 7 kilobytes, and we thought, that's plenty of power. That's plenty of space.
Exactly.
Now a text file is around, like a typical text file. Like here, our script for the introduction is maybe like 200 kilobytes. That's more than the entire Super Mario Brothers first game. Yeah. So clearly, we're gonna we might think, we might not need any more power. It's fine, whatever.
But then as time goes on,
more games are being released that require better and better, graphics cards.
And not even just for PC, but console market is advancing.
The console market is
quite
weird.
It's
weird.
It's slowly dying.
I'm not sure
the
about
numbers.
Dying.
Around the end of, I'd say, June. I'm pretty sure that the amount of people picking up PC is higher than the amount of people picking up console.
Well, I would think so, but like, I'm not sure that consoles will ever really die.
Yeah, because it's just such a...
It's a very interesting...
home... Because the thing about PCs is that they're a lot more personal than consoles.
That's true, but like, my Xbox, I have an Xbox at home.
Yeah.
It's connected to the living room, and I have maybe 6 games on that, and I play very rarely. I mostly just use it for...
as a media
Yeah,
station.
as a media station. My cable box, I still have cable.
Yeah.
Is plugged into my Xbox. Everything is plugged into the Xbox.
Yeah.
And like my home media server, that's Xbox. Well, it's not Xbox, but I play it through the Xbox.
Yeah.
So,
like console.
Like there's a reason why
consoles aren't going to be used for gaming.
There's a reason why consoles are like still around. Like the Xbox, like there's a reason why they introduced like the home media type station. It's not just because like, oh, it's a revolutionary new feature, everyone's going to be using their TVs with their Xbox.
Yeah.
No, it's no, because the console gaming market is done. It's dying.
It's pretty much done.
Like
even companies like Sony,
they're
acknowledging and starting to release their games not just on the PlayStation but on the PC as well.
Like, what game was released by Sony on the PC?
I remember there was something. What was recently released by Sony? Search it up.
Yeah, I'll search that up.
Yeah.
And, like, also, like, there are fewer and fewer, console exclusives now.
Yeah.
Like,
and also, emulators are huge.
Yeah.
Like, so many people are, like, I know at least 5 people that play at least 30 minutes to an hour of emulators a day. And emulators require because usually emulators are for much older games.
Payday, that's Sony.
Payday, Sony.
And
PlanetSide, Sony.
So those are mostly, PC games, right? So
yeah.
Yeah. I just found this. Yeah, I just found this new game, this new article. It's 5 days old.
Yeah.
PlayStation now coming to PC. DualShock 4 USB wireless adapter unveiled.
Yeah,
so they're slowly moving towards the PC market.
Yeah.
Mostly just because PCs are a lot cheaper and like...
PCs are a lot cheaper. There's so much more that you can generally do on a PC, because a lot of people think that just the computer market in general is just for... like certain
professionals.
Professionals.
Like working and stuff on like the internet. But gaming on a PC, there's some games that work very well with a keyboard and mouse. For example, I would never play Civilization, like 5, with
I would never play any first-person shooter game with a controller or on
excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah. So first-person shooters. I don't know how people play with controller.
Me neither.
It's so
weird. It feels so strange and unnatural.
Yeah, like with the mouse, it just makes more sense, right? Because like I don't know how it makes more sense, but it's just better. I like it better.
It feels more comfortable
and
because you're using.
A lot of people agree with that.
Yeah, and then some people, certain console players that I know, make the excuse that everything is right there where you need it on a controller.
Yeah, well, so is the keyboard and mouse. Everything is right there where you need it. You don't even have to stand up to go on the internet. Like,
and then the mic, and then the macro and micro, just actions with the keyboard and mouse.
Well, you need a specific keyboard for that, and a specific mouse. But having that option,
even available, is there.
Like there are those like really stupid Matacats, controllers that like nobody likes, including me. I hate them. But those Matacats, console controllers, those are like, why should I have to pay more to do something like that, right? It doesn't make much sense.
Really doesn't. No.
But we can discuss, console versus PC all day. That's a debate that will never end.
Never.
Like,
it just won't. There's no way.
Just go on Reddit. Just go on Reddit.
Yeah.
But you'll find it.
Exactly.
/r/PC Master Race. But yeah. So, getting back into 2016.
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened?
Nothing really happened to the PC market.
Nothing.
Tablet market. There were no tablet releases. There were
nothing at all. Literally.
No major tablet releases have
genuinely nothing other than like. When was
small
the
ones,
Yeah, small ones other than like iPad Pro.
iPad Pro was very big. It was literally very big.
It genuinely was.
It's massive. I don't see a point for an iPad Pro. Like,
what? Me neither. It's so small. The market for somebody that wants an iPad Pro, or the market for somebody that needs and can make use of an iPad Pro effectively.
Somebody who needs an iPad Pro is somebody who also needs a computer. Okay?
Exactly.
Why would you go for an iPad Pro, something that's $800, instead you can go for a $600 computer that can do exactly the same thing. You can even write on it.
Or if you need a tablet for drawing.
Get a Wacom tablet.
Exactly. Get a Wacom tablet.
It's the exact same price.
Same price.
Might even be cheaper.
And better quality. You have all the different pens and stuff that you can use.
Yeah, exactly.
Like brushes, and it's so much more comfortable. Like
why would you need
everybody
an
that
iPad
animates? Pro? Think of a huge
Domix or something.
Yeah.
That's
a YouTuber like that,
Wacom
or
tablet.
Even huge corporations like Pixar and Disney. They have to draw their characters.
They don't use an iPad Pro.
Exactly.
Have you ever seen Pixar use an iPad Pro?
For their movies? Cars 3. Sponsored by Apple, by the way.
Sponsored by Apple. Cars 3.
Yeah. It's such a terrible... It's such a stupid product.
I mean, the Microsoft Surface, it runs Windows.
Yeah.
At least
and
it
that's
runs
already
Windows.
Better than running iOS.
Why would you use an $800 iOS machine? It's kind of it's basically just a it's actually exactly that. It's a massive iPad.
It's literally just a huge iPad with a stylus and a crappy keyboard attachment.
Do you remember what Steve Jobs said when he released the
iPhone? Yeah.
Stylus? Who wants to use a stylus? Tim Cook disagrees. Tim Cook wants to use a stylus. God.
The guy that I decided will be my replacement wants to use a stylus.
Come on, Tim Cook. Jesus Christ.
But
yeah.
What I wanted to finish saying about the iPad Pro was that the amount of people that want an iPad Pro and that need an iPad Pro is smaller than the amount of people that can use a drone and want to use a drone.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just a comparison of how useless
an
that
iPad
release
Pro.
was.
Why? At least... I mean, the iPad Pro, I guess, it's fast, but it's iOS.
Exactly.
It's iOS. Why would you need a fast iOS machine?
From everything
so you can
that
load
Apple...
Facebook faster? I don't understand.
From everything that Apple has ever done, the worst thing was probably iOS.
No, the iOS isn't bad. Give credit where it's due.
Obviously. iOS is not
bad.
the worst. It's not the worst thing
the
ever.
Newton was bad. But, the new generation Apple,
the new generation Apple. iOS...
I think iPad Pro is very
a while back wasn't that bad at all.
iOS still isn't bad. iOS is good. I like iOS. I wouldn't use it every day, but if I sit down in my living room, I pick up my iPad and I want to check my emails. Yeah, sure. iOS. Let's go. That's fantastic.
Sure. Let's see iOS.
But on my phone, where I'm using it for upwards of 3 hours a day,
iOS is bad on a device which you need at all times and you need to use for multiple different things.
Yeah, because if you're using if you have an iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can check your mail on that. You can you can go on the camera. You can do stuff like that. But what if I want to change how fast the animation is?
Yeah.
Try doing that on a non-jailbreaked iOS phone.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, it was so much better. If I want more stuff to do with my phone, I'll just jailbreak it." You can do more on a non-jailbroken Android phone
Well, non-rooted phone. Just
Yeah,
a regular Android
just
phone.
regular.
Yeah.
Non-rooted Android phone, then you can do with a jailbreak that
You can
phone.
probably do the exact same thing, because Android
Exactly.
just really pushes the limits.
Yeah.
But, like, jailbreaking... Well, first of all, it's illegal. You can be put into jail. So,
Yeah.
what if I want a phone, right?
Yeah.
That, like, does everything I want it to,
Yeah.
and I don't go to jail for it.
Mm-hmm.
You just get an Android
If
phone.
I get, like, caught and someone cares.
Yeah, and if someone cares, because,
Yeah.
like, it's not like anyone really cares about jailbreaking
Exactly.
thing.
And also, let's talk about Android N for a minute.
Android N.
Yeah,
Yes.
you.
I have Android N, because I have a
Was-
Nexus, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not like Android is, like, Android 4.0 and then Android 5.0, that was a drastic change. You
That
know,
was.
iOS 6 to iOS 7, that was also a drastic change. Now it's just getting kind of boring. But, like, I don't mind
is,
it. I don't mind
sure.
it. Like, there are no new...
Like, at this point, what Android is doing
They're just
is
refining.
literally just refining everything to make the experience a little bit better. Like, it's gotten so good over
it's-
the years.
No, like, I wouldn't say it's gotten so good, right?
No, it's
but, like...
better.
It's hard to
than the
find a new
comp.
feature,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Hard to find a genuinely, like, new,
like
very different feature.
Like, they changed their notification system
Mm-hmm.
when it didn't really need any changing. Like, nobody really complained
Yeah.
about it, but they still changed it.
And made it a little bit better.
Yeah, but, like, did it really deserve, like, an entire update? Like, I bet Android Z, or whatever, like,
Yeah.
like
They're next.
a massive, you know, like, a few
Revamp.
years from now,
Yeah.
Android. I think it'll look the same as, you know, like, Android N.
Yeah.
Like, how far can you really go? Like...
Yeah. Like, how
there's-
much can you do to make the experience...
You know, better. You
Yeah.
can't make an experience perfect. There's no such thing as perfect.
there's no such thing as perfect. But there's striving for perfect.
Striving for perfection, yeah, that's what everyone's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's not like I'm on my phone right now. I don't see a difference between Android, like, M and, like, N.
Yeah.
I don't see a difference. I don't even see a difference between Android L and Android N. That's 2 years ago. 2 years
That's
ago,
true.
and this current year is exactly the same to me. Like,
Pretty much.
I'm just on my phone. Like, yeah, I can notice, like, those tiny, minute, like, details. Oh,
Yeah.
look, the notification bar is different.
Yeah.
But I don't care. Because, like, how often do you just go and stare at your notification bar?
Only when I get a notification. Only when I have, like, 50 notifications just come to me at once.
And, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, that's good.
Yeah.
Because, like, Android actually fixed that. You get multiple... You only get one notification per app, and that's nice.
Yeah.
They cleaned everything up. I like that.
Mhm.
But that's all that's notable. Like, the notification system, that's pretty much the only thing that's different. The settings app, okay, it's prettier, it's nice, I guess, it's okay. But that's it. That's it. In a year, this is what they did?
And, like,
Yeah.
nobody had any problems with the previous Android. Everyone loved Android M.
Everyone loved Android L.
Everyone loved Android 4.0.
Oh, yeah. And then there were these issues. I remember, like, iOS 8.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the current iOS's,
Yeah.
nothing is changing.
Pretty much.
Absolutely nothing. Like,
Pretty much.
iOS 9, like,
And, like, iOS 10. It's so strange. Now, literally, you can force touch on your home screen to literally just show what it would show if you went into the app.
It's fantastic. I really love it.
It is. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm being sarcastic there, but,
Yeah,
but
obviously.
like, it's awful. Like, I remember when I had an iPod Touch, I really loved Apple back then, when iOS 7 was released.
I know. Who,
I got the beta for iOS 7, so
like, who
everyone,
really didn't?
like, everyone really liked iOS
Yeah,
7.
everyone
that
liked
was a
real-
beautiful
Yeah.
system.
iOS 5 to 7?
iOS,
really good.
iOS 5 was good, iOS 6 was eh.
Yeah.
And then iOS 7, you know, that was
Yeah.
massive. And then iOS 8 came, and nobody cared about
Nobody
iOS 8.
cared about.
Like,
everyone just started to really stop caring about Apple in general.
Around iOS 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Apple was just...
In the
kind of-
mobile space.
Yeah, Apple... Because what does Apple do well?
Mhm.
They do MacBooks.
Yeah.
I like MacBooks.
I like MacBooks too.
They're, like, specifically the MacBook Air, because it's
Yeah.
a light computer, and I really like Mac OS.
Mm-hmm.
And also because, like, it's based off Unix, and I like Unix. Like,
Yeah.
that, it's just, like, I use ifconfig and stuff, IP, like, and a terminal stuff for developers. But, really, it doesn't, like, I just like Mac OS. Is like, I have a Hackintosh at home. It's I dual boot Windows and Mac, but mostly Mac. Whenever I play video games, it's on Windows.
Of course.
But, yeah, it's, like, Mac is a fantastic system. The MacBook is fantastic. Except like the MacBook Air. I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, the MacBook Air is fantastic.
The MacBook, like the
2012 MacBook. Oh,
No.
or the new, like
the new 12-inch MacBook.
Oh,
That is just awful.
it is awful.
What is that?
It's
the
a
keyboard. The keyboard. It feels like my microwave. You know, like those.
Yes.
If
for sure.
It just feels like a microwave. You know.
Like, why couldn't you make it literally 2 millimeters thicker and just add in butterfly switches?
Yes, just at least butterfly switches.
Yeah. Like, who doesn't like butterfly switches?
Like, they're
Butterfly switches, they feel so good.
Yeah.
Like, obviously their actuation isn't as fast as mechanical.
No, but we're not talking about putting a mechanical keyboard on a computer. That's just stupid.
Although MSI has done
did it stupid.
Exactly.
But the MacBook is so bad. They're like, oh my god, we have this new innovation. It's just like, oh my god, we have this new type of keyboard. And I don't care about new type of keyboard if it's bad. New isn't
exactly.
If it's
new doesn't mean good.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Alright? Like, what the hell? Like, why do you have, like, these microwave keyboard? You have, like, force touch. Why do I need force touch? Why can't I just hold my mouse down?
Yeah.
Why is that a problem? Why do I need force touch and then make it...
And, like, why do you make the adapter for the things that
There's
I
only one
need?
adapter. Only one adapter, USB-C.
And then you'll have, like, your computer looking like an Opticus.
But Apple has...
Octopus.
Octopus.
Yeah.
But Apple is very smart here, okay? Apple... And this is important, okay? Apple charges you
$80.
$80 to give you VGA. They give you VGA, okay? Apple gives you... Okay, here. VGA...
2 USB ports, I think. Or is it one?
One USB port, one
port.
USB-A port, and one USB-C port to charge it. $80!
And then into your
freaking dollars.
And then you're gonna have to buy the VGA to HDMI converter.
Like, I don't
and then your
care.
HDMI to display port converter.
I don't care. It's so awful. It is so awful. I mean, credit where credit is due. Those businessmen at Apple, they are fantastic.
Just really just pushing the limits of how
much
money you can suck away from your consumers.
There's a reason why Apple is the richest company in the freaking world. They take all your money, okay? $80 for a freaking adapter. Here, let me go on the Apple website right now. I'm going on the Apple website.
Right now.
Okay?
Yeah.
Alright, Mac accessories. So, yeah.
MacBook accessories.
Specifically,
they go into like the specific MacBook section.
The MacBook Air is fantastic. They said they're discontinuing the MacBook Air in favor of the iPad Pro.
Why though?
It's very stupid.
Who needs this? Why would you rather have and get a MacBook Air or even a MacBook Pro?
Like a MacBook
if
Pro.
If you want the higher specs, light.
Here's
what?
Light.
The years ahead. The marketing team.
Years ahead.
The marketing team is really showing off what they've learned here.
Featured Mac accessories. Boom. SanDisk is making a 64GB dual drive USB-C flash drive. So
for $70.
$70. 64 gigs.
Yeah.
$70.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. It's decent. Yeah. But, okay, so you can hear our crime outside. It's quite bad. I'm just joking. It's fantastic. Okay, power and cables.
Yeah.
So, I see they're still selling, this sort of stuff. But, adapters, here, Mac compatibility, not a brand. 12-inch MacBook. And then you have the 12-inch MacBook. Okay, so here we are.
Of our Belkin.
Belkin has made a surge protector that's 2.1 USB charging. That's fantastic.
Because who doesn't want?
I'm trying to find the Mac accessories area, but like where they have those really stupid, adapters.
powering cables.
No, I went there.
But there was adapters there.
I don't know.
You should have clicked on adapters.
I have.
No, but
where
if you went to...
Okay, we're not going to spend our entire time here.
Exactly.
But this is so stupid. $80 freaking dollars. $80.
And then they also released the second version. What do they add in the second version? One more color.
Chuda. Okay? It's fantastic. Alright, chuda, by the way, in Russian, it means a miracle. Okay? It's a miracle. They added
One more
another color.
Gold.
One more. It's gold. What is with people and gold nowadays?
Especially, Apple and gold.
Apple
like,
and gold.
what Apple product doesn't exist in gold at this point, other than the Mac Pro?
The Mac Pro.
Gold Mac Pro.
That'd be fantastic. I'd buy that.
Oh yeah, me too.
Gold.
Yeah.
I love gold.
Is this a garbage can?
Is this a garbage can? No.
No, not well.
Because black is a very garbage can color.
Black is very
rose gold.
Rose gold
Screams computer. Like I see a pink computer, a pink cylinder, and I think that is a computer.
That is a computer. Definitely a computer.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's just stupid.
That is stupid.
But so yeah, 2016 is it's not a good year for computers.
No.
It's not a good year for tablets, definitely not.
Yeah. Definitely in that.
I think phones was quite a good year. It's quite a good year for phones.
It is quite a good year for phones.
Because they're getting cheaper, they're also more options. Like the iPhone SE, that's a good phone. It's allowing more options. It's taking Apple out of the ridiculously expensive into just the expensive.
Yeah, exactly. That's another point that I wanted to make earlier in the show.
Especially considering that the MacBook is $1,200. Mm-hmm. What the hell?
That's
plus $80 for an adapter. That's basically mandatory.
For $1,200,
you should give me.
What can you do?
$1,200.
You can literally build. You can buy.
No, but just considering that you want, a portable.
Yeah, you want a portable computer,
right? We're not building a desktop.
If you want a thin computer, then just get the HP Spectre
or the Dell XPS 13.
Yeah,
both are fantastic options. Both are $1,200, and both have butterfly switches and more than one port. And
the HP Spectre 13.
Yeah.
Thinner than the new MacBook.
But it's still 2 USB-C ports.
2 USB-C ports.
I'm pretty sure also
1 3.5 audio jack and 1 USB 3 port. I think.
Fantastic USB. Yeah, USB-A.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Apple, if you're listening, you're not listening. But if you will, at some point, get it together.
Exactly.
Okay? You're appealing to a market that does not exist. I've not once seen a person just sporting their 12-inch MacBook.
Yeah, rose gold.
Especially not rose gold. I have not seen a single rose gold Apple device.
Me too. No, I've seen rose gold Apple devices.
Yeah, but nobody owns one. You're appealing to the wrong market, Apple.
No, people do own them, but MacBooks.
Definitely not.
No,
not. I would personally not buy. Maybe it's just a color preference.
Yeah, but I wouldn't ever buy a laptop which is a lighter color than silver.
Or white.
Yeah, or white, or maybe some kind of copperish. That's the HP Spectre,
but computers should be a solid, a regular color. Kind of like a car.
Yeah.
I would not buy a green car. A car that is green should not happen. Sometimes red happens.
Yeah, sometimes red happens.
But red should be, to the
as
desktops.
far.
Red is for desktops and stuff.
Yeah.
But a laptop,
Yeah.
If you take a laptop, it's kind of like a Fiat. Like a Fiat 500. Mm-hmm. And those might be, no, that's a bad example because Fiats look fantastic in red.
That's true.
A lot.
smaller cars look better in brighter colors, in general.
Okay, so we're making a pretty bad point here.
We are.
But
that's true.
But if a laptop is like a Honda Civic, a Honda Civic should not be green or pink or rose gold.
No. Honda Civic should be at most blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. even than a blue laptop. Okay, this is an awful point that we're making.
Yeah.
It's a very bad analogy, but I hope you understand what we're trying to say here. Laptops should be neutral colors.
Yeah.
Okay?
They should be colors which, when you walk
a
through the
colorblind
library,
person can see. There we go.
Sure. Or like when you're walking through the library
Mm-hmm.
and you're holding your laptop and you're walking through the library, right?
It doesn't make you
Nobody
look like an
looks
idiot.
exactly. Nobody looks at you and stares at you as you're walking through.
Mm-hmm. If you have a white computer and put a ton of stickers on it,
Yeah.
I don't care. Okay, just it's a customization stickers. Yeah, sure, whatever. Go ahead.
I mean, I have one sticker.
It's a Razer sticker.
Oh,
on
yeah?
his HP
Chroma.
Chromebook. This idiot has,
That's me.
a Razer sticker on a Chromebook.
It's a Razer Chroma sticker, though.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Uh-huh.
But
You better be sorry.
But yeah. So yeah. Laptops, neutral colors, put a sticker on it if you want.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Especially because you take them out into public. Desktops. Honestly,
Desktops, the NZXT S340.
Yeah.
Whew! That is a good looking case.
That is a good looking case.
Or an NZXT H440.
Yeah.
All fantastic looking cases.
Yeah. Like,
have these red accents.
Yeah, like cases, mice, keyboards.
That can be colorful.
That can be colorful. Go over the top with
like,
your 16.8 million colors.
Like we're
And your
recording on a green blue snowball.
Yeah.
Okay? Like have at it, but like stay with the neutral colors. Like just keep it casual. Don't keep it,
Exactly. In privacy, do whatever you want. But when you're
in look presentable,
public,
okay? And
look at least half decent.
like have decency. Don't walk around with a pink laptop. Because if you're like a minister of some massive country, you go to a United Nations meeting. Everybody has their nice silver MacBook Air, obviously, because these people have common sense and don't buy a MacBook. And you pull out your rose gold Hello Kitty sticker, MacBook, right? The bad kind, the one that we all hate.
Uh-huh.
You're officially an enemy of the United States, okay?
Of America.
Of America, okay? You're an enemy now because don't just buy a white computer or a silver computer.
Yeah.
Just don't buy a pink one.
Moral of the story. Moral of what we're trying to tell you here.
Moral of the story, and we can segue on to the Apple Watch that famously comes in rose gold. Very famously comes in rose gold because it costs thousands of freaking dollars because it's an Apple Watch. Why would you spend? Okay.
Why would you buy an Apple Watch in the first place?
Why would you? Yeah. Why would you buy an Apple Watch in the first place? The Apple Watch is not a good watch.
No.
Okay.
It's not a good watch. It doesn't have a good operating system at all.
There's this very funny comic.
Huh?
That I've seen. I'll try to find it. It's about this person that got this new smartwatch.
Yeah.
And here, let me just try to find it.
All right. In the meanwhile, I actually have a story to tell. So, I was on Twitter, and then a certain person that I follow tweets out a Twitter poll for which Apple Watch band he should get. And everyone's commenting voting on these different things and tweeting back at the person. And I go and I tweet back to the person.
Okay.
How about you just don't buy an Apple Watch?
Boom. It just makes sense. Why would you buy an Apple Watch?
Even the Motorola 360.
That's
the first generation and the second generation.
It's decent.
It's better than the Apple Watch, and it supports
Android.
Yeah.
But it's a smartwatch either way. I don't.
Obviously,
like
me neither. But
here,
Yeah.
It's a comic by Loading Artist. Here it says, "Why, yes, that is my new smartwatch." He's pointing out his watch. It can do everything. It can read emails, answer calls, monitor my heart rate, track my steps, control music, play games, and more. And the guy asks, "What time is it now?" And he replies, "Low battery." Smartwatches, they're stupid because they can't do anything, okay, without a phone. Alright?
Yep.
they're a glorified accessory.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually exactly what it is.
Pretty much.
A smartwatch is an accessory.
Yeah.
Okay?
And it's a glorified accessory where it does... And it really doesn't save much time. Like, how long does it take to pull your phone out of your pocket?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have, like, 5 locks on your pocket.
Exactly. Like,
you have, like, chains all over it. You have, like, 3 keys that you need to unlock to pull it out of your pocket.
Yeah,
like,
I don't like smartwatches. Like,
yeah.
There's this person that's not very techno-savvy that I know. But, like, he asks me, why would you buy a smartwatch? And for the first time,
Yeah.
like, if somebody asks me a technical question, I usually can answer it.
Yeah.
But that one I just said, I have no idea. Why would you buy a smartwatch?
Why would you buy a smartwatch?
There's no, like,
Yeah.
these types of devices, you know? iPad Pro, smartwatches,
Yeah.
e-bras, e-sports
Yeah.
bras.
The 2012, I mean, no, the MacBook.
The 12-inch MacBook.
The 12-inch MacBook.
These
like that.
These devices...
Yeah.
Devices.
If you even have the guts to call them that.
They're toys.
Yeah.
Like, it's appealing to a market that does not exist
No.
or has way too much money on their hands. So
Yeah.
if you're considering to buy, you know, an iPad Pro, a 12-inch MacBook, or a smartwatch, or even an e-bra,
Yeah.
here's what you do. You don't buy any of those things. Either you buy
Yeah.
a decent laptop,
Yeah.
or in the case of, you know, a smartwatch or an e-bra, donate that money.
Yeah.
Or keep it for yourself.
Exactly.
Because a smartwatch
Use
is
it for
not...
something better.
it's
Use
not
it to
close-
buy a better laptop.
Exactly.
Honestly.
It's not even close enough
Yeah.
to being, you know, something that's concrete, you know, it's becoming a thing. Smartwatches, they're a gimmick, okay?
There.
It joins, you know, VR, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a gimmick that's not yet prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's not ready.
Well, I would say it's more like, not like VR, but more like something.
It's even more gimmicky than VR.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
VR has
Like
applications.
VR is.
It has applications
Yeah.
somewhere, like, you know,
Exactly.
flight simulation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you have, you know, something like...
Flight simulation, games,
Yeah,
media,
exactly.
which is getting released.
But then you have, you know, a smartwatch.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do with a smartwatch?
Yeah.
It's awful.
True.
So, 2016?
And then there are also
What?
people. Last thing about smartwatches.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Also, people like one of our certain staff has a
Has a Fitbit.
Fitbit
Yeah.
and a $15 smartwatch
Yeah, 15.
from like, you know that app? I forgot what it's called, but I think it's called Geek or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like really cheap
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, just really
Like from
cheap
China,
stuff
yeah.
from China.
Yeah.
Getting one of those smartwatches, and he has a Fitbit, and it feels so stupid, but at the same time, it's like,
Like $15 for a smartwatch. Like, yeah, you can call
Yeah.
from it, but it's like you may as well just use a cup and a string.
yeah,
Because that probably has better audio quality than that $15 smartwatch.
Yep.
It is awful. Okay?
it is awful.
Like, why would you spend $15 on something that does not work? Why would you buy, like, why would you, even more so, why would you spend $300 on something that doesn't work without something that costs $800? Your phone.
Yeah.
So, long story short, about smartwatches and stuff like that, don't buy smartwatches. They're not good enough yet. Like, unless you really need them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're working out, get a Fitbit. 'Cause
Or unless you have 3 locks and chains on your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2016, not a good year for tablets.
No.
Okay year for phones.
Yeah.
Not a good year for VR. Not really a
No.
good year for games. Speaking of games, No Man's Sky,
No Man's Lie.
No Man's Lie. We're not even gonna
Yeah.
go into No Man's Sky.
Exactly. It's just
it's just bad.
such a disappointment to everybody.
But it was a really hyped game. Like
Yeah.
the math behind it, I guess, is kind of interesting.
Just more hyped than something like Overwatch.
Overwatch was pretty good.
Yeah.
It is pretty good.
Overwatch is a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game. But it's not like
It's
what
not the
2016
best.
It's not what 2016 is going to be known for. You're
Yeah,
not, you're not going to
sure
think
not.
2016 and think Overwatch.
Yeah.
Unless you're thinking specifically about games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a very good year for games. It's not a really good year for anything, really. So the best thing that happened, like in the middle of 2016 so far, are the phones. The phones are becoming cheaper.
Yeah.
And smaller, and they're becoming more friendly to a wider market. My mom, she uses Sony Xperia X. It's
Indian
a bad
version
phone.
of
the bad phone, of like a Sony Xperia, like a good one. But it's a pretty good year for phones, really.
Yeah, it is.
And we'll see next week with the iPhone 7.
Yeah, everything new.
Yeah,
all the information.
And we will cover that on FACET News. Either like we're gonna cover that as a post and as a podcast as well. I think we can wrap it out. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to our first podcast. Please come back often. And check out www.facet-news.com/podcast for more updates. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where we keep everything posted.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
And also to see previous podcasts, just go back on the YouTube.
There are no previous podcasts
so far.
This is our first podcast.
But in the future there will be.
In the future, yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll see you back next week.
Yeah.